how people behave when they're assigned a goal is something that is taught to them at an early age. And once you see the connection, it'll help you understand a key tool for managing your team and growing your business. I remember back when my daughters were learning to ride their bikes. And if you're a parent, or if you can remember your own experience of learning to ride a bike, then this may sound very familiar to you. If you think about it, for some children, learning to ride a bike is somewhat of an assigned goal because we, the parents, have to talk our children into getting on the bike and trying it out. Sometimes children are so afraid of falling that they don't want to get on the bike and learn to ride. So we beg and plead and tell them that they're going to be fine and that we'll be right there with them to make sure that they don't get hurt. I remember when my youngest daughter was learning to ride a bike, and she was really afraid of falling in the street. So there I was. I talked her into getting on the bike, and we had her all dressed up in elbow pads and knee pads and a helmet. And I promised her that I'd run with her and hold the bike while she pedaled and steered. Up and down the street we went for a few tries while she learned to balance the bike, pedal, and steer it all at the same time. We made several trips up and down the street. And then, once I thought she had it down pretty good, I'd let go for a little bit and just see if she could do it. Just before she'd fall, I'd catch her. "Daddy, don't let go," she'd yell at me. And I reassured her, like so many parents before me, "I won't. You'll be fine. You've almost got this. You're doing great. Come on, let's go again," I'd say. So we made a few more trips, and the better she got at balancing, pedaling, and steering, the longer I could let go of the seat. And that was just fine with me because I was starting to get kind of tired. I am not exactly what you would call a marathoner. And then comes the magical moment that all parents can remember. That moment when you'll let go of the seat and your child keeps going, and after they get down the street about 50 feet in front of you, you yell out, "You're doing it!" And sometimes they're okay, and sometimes they panic. But since they haven't learned to stop yet, there's usually a little bit of a crash. But we know it's coming because everybody crashes when they're learning to ride a bike. So then I get scolded again. "Daddy, why did you let go?" "Because you were doing it. You were doing it all by yourself. You were riding the bike on your own. Come on, let's do it again," I'd say. And I had to talk her into another try. But she got back on the bike and we did something very similar. And this time she kept going all the way down the street. What a feeling. She was doing it. Next, I taught her to take off, how to get started on her own. And that was a little bit easier. Once she had the ability to take off, stop, and steer, she asked me to stay outside and watch her ride up and down the street. With each pass, "Look at me, Daddy. Are you watching?" She had a newfound self-confidence and self-belief. She wanted some recognition for her latest accomplishment. What happens next is where the pattern of success really starts to take off and get permanently embedded in who they are and how they set goals for themselves, how we set goals for ourselves. She spent the next couple of days riding up and down the street. Then she came to me and she had a new goal for herself. Riding up and down the street had really built up her self-belief. Now she wanted to ride around the neighborhood. "Daddy, ride with me around the neighborhood so that I can ride around the neighborhood." After a few weeks of that, her self-belief was at an even higher level, and the old goal of riding around the neighborhood just wasn't good enough anymore. She really wanted to see what she could do. So she had a new request. Daddy, can we ride over to the park? See, there was a park near our house, but to get there, you had to ride a couple of 100 feet down a somewhat busy road. So I had to be careful, I had to pick a route and time, I had to check the traffic and give her some added rules. And we made it just fine. She achieved her goal, and she was so excited to tell her mom about it when we got back to the house so that she could celebrate her newest achievement. The point that I'm trying to drive by sharing this story with you is this. This pattern of learning and then setting bigger goals for yourself to see what you can do with your new skill, that's installed in almost every single person in early childhood. It's a natural part of who we are, of human nature. I taught her some basic skills. I had to reassure her a few times while she was learning, but that's okay. I didn't start her by, on the first day by putting her on the bike and saying, okay, we're going to ride over to the city park even though you've never done this before, when she'd never been on the bike herself. I gave her a small, manageable goal. Just learn to ride from here to that house over there. And once she got that down, she started freely taking on more and more and setting bigger and bigger goals for herself. Her self-belief was being built up as she acquired skill and knowledge, and she wanted to put it to use. This is the pattern that is set in us from early childhood. We get some training. We're given a small goal. We achieve it. We receive positive reinforcement of our skill and our success. This improves our self-belief. Our commitment grows because of that. And now we set even bigger goals for ourselves. And now we're on the cycle. We achieve that bigger goal. We receive positive reinforcement again. Our self-belief continues to grow, and consequently our commitment grows even more. And the whole cycle repeats. When we as leaders really absorb that pattern, we can use it to great advantage to really do big things with our businesses and with building up our employees. If you don't take advantage of this installed pattern, you will feel like every day is hard work, like you're churning butter. You can get your team addicted to and setting and achieving bigger and bigger goals if you will tap into this pattern and the program that's already inside them.